In the span of only about 2 months, I was able to make $1,600 with GoHighLevel as a complete beginner. If you want to make money online, then the first thing you have to know is that it's all about adding value. Digital marketing is a great first business because these days the barrier to entry is getting lower and lower to be able to add value to a business. One of the core offerings of a digital marketing agency is being able to effectively communicate between a client and their leads. So you pretty much need a software to do this, otherwise you're going to be sending texts nonstop all day long. In the past, you would have had to pay for things like Twilio, Zapier, MailChimp, all these different services to be able to automate those messages. But now there are softwares like GoHighLevel that allow you to package all these services together at an insane price, and you get to white label the software as your own. So today I'm going to show you the 3 key offerings you can make with this software to help you stand out and get your business started. So the first offer to make to small businesses to get yourself started is missed call text back. I don't know if you've heard about this before, but I want to show you this little study here. Let's go over to my computer. And this study by 411 Locals shows us that small business owners don't answer up to 62% of phone calls. So if we kind of come down into this graph here, they did this big study. They were actually studying 85 businesses operating in 58 different industries for a period of 30 days. So this was actually some legitimate research, I think, here. And they found that 62% of phone calls to small businesses are left unanswered. Many small business owners are tradesmen and they have limited ability to answer the phone, and it's losing them business. So this is actually a really simple thing you could use as a lead magnet to just say something like, hey, did you know that you might be losing business to the fact that you're not answering your phone all the time? And you can simply just say that, hey, I have this service I can provide you, so you'll never miss a phone call again. So I want to show you this other study from Gartner here, and they're a company that provides a lot of insights into a wide variety of industries. So one interesting thing they found is that there's a really high read and response rate for SMS, and this is fairly obvious, but it's kind of cool to see that, you know, they can be as high as 98% for the open rate and 45% is for the response rate. So this is something you could really show to a small business owner in your pitch. Be like, hey, SMS is something that is highly responded to, and if you're not doing it efficiently with your business, you could be losing customers. And so I want to show you what this looks like in high level now. Literally all you have to do for your client is once you get them set up here, you'll come into business profile and settings, scroll all the way down. All you have to do is check this box, enable missed call text back. You can choose a custom message here, but even the very basic, hi, this is blank. I saw that we just missed your call. How can I help? This is a really easy, simple message that you can add. It's just a check of a box and you can get that going for people and help them ensure that they aren't losing business. So the number 2 way you can start making money with GoHighLevel is through Google review campaigns. Every small business owner knows that Google reviews are important and they want more of them. So you're preaching to the choir when you say, I can help you get more Google reviews. So what you're actually going to be offering people is an automation that will send requests for reviews to help them get more reviews over time. You can also send a request immediately to a bunch of people, but I want to show you really quickly an automation that's very simple to help start getting more Google reviews for your clients. So as you can see, this is probably as simple as it gets. You can literally just add a trigger for once someone has changed to starting treatment in the pipeline, or once they've actually become a customer, whatever that stage is on your pipeline, you can add that trigger here. And we're going to add a wait step for about 45 days because that's roughly how long the treatment takes. So we want to make sure that there's time for them to finish before we send that request for review. And we're going to add an email step here that's very simple, and we're just going to have the subject saying, hey, we need your help. You're going to have something very simple like this. Hey, you know, we at this location want to express our heartfelt gratitude for choosing us for your care. Your trust means the world to us. To help us serve you and others better, would you mind leaving us a review? Your feedback is invaluable. And you can see you have this little link here, and to add the link, you just come into this little button, add the link, throw in a URL, and you want to take this directly to the page that will take them to a Google review page. If you don't know how to find this place ID, you just want to go into Google, search place ID finder, come here. You'll see this part. You can just Google your business, and as soon as you find it, it'll show your place ID. You're going to copy that, throw it into here, and then that's your URL. And then this is just the rest of the email here. You can see it's pretty simple, honestly. So something like this would not take very long to set up at all, but it will ensure that you're going to start getting more reviews coming in. If you want a more detailed explanation of a more complex automation on how to really get into detail with Google reviews, check out my other video. I have a whole video explaining the process of how you can filter out the people who had a bad experience and then only collect the good reviews. Another thing you can do with this is use AI to custom respond to everybody who gives you a review. Now this is really easy because again, it just lowers friction and it takes a lot of stuff off your hands as a business owner, and it's even customized so that it's tailored to each review. In order to set that up, we'll come over here into Reputation. We come into the settings bar here, and you can see we've got Reviews AI. Now you're going to want to set this, it's probably going to be on off on default, but you're going to want to move it over to auto responses, and this will send a review response automatically. So you can choose your platform. So if it's just Google reviews, then you can click that, and then you can choose the auto response sent to only 5-star reviews or 4 stars or above. We'd probably do 4 stars or above, or maybe even just all of them, but let's do 4 stars or above for now. And we'll do the wait time being, let's say, roughly 3 minutes. And then the footer, we can have a footer that will always go. No matter what the AI says, we can have a footer that will always be the same. So we might put something very simple like thank you. You could also put something simple like your name even, something really simple like that. So this is a really easy thing to learn on GoHighLevel, and it's a great way to get more Google reviews for your clients. And it's a really easy offer right up front when you're starting. If you do want to look into this a little bit more, you can keep scrolling down here and there's a little bit more detailed review requests you can get into with email here or SMS. I'm not going to worry too much about that right now, but we'll have another video about that later. Okay, the third way you can make money with GoHighLevel is by offering a database reactivation campaign. Now this is a really easy way to get quick wins, especially if you're working with a client who has a huge customer base. Something like gyms, for example, have really large customer lists. But I will say that this one is entirely dependent on the quality of the list. So from business to business, you could have vastly different success levels because one business might have a list of people who are really jaded and don't want anything to do with this gym or spa or whatever it is. And another list might have a bunch of people that just weren't followed up with correctly and they are interested in coming back, right? So the list quality makes a really big difference here, but it is a good idea to offer it to people when you're just getting started because it's really easy to get going. And in fact, you actually can hurt the business if you run this campaign and you use a list of people who don't want anything to do with the business. So you do want to make sure you have filtered out contacts who have requested that you don't disturb them, that you don't contact them. If you can, try to filter out those contacts. Hopefully their list of contacts already has that category somewhere on there, and you want to filter that out before you run this campaign. All right, so I want to walk you through an example of a database reactivation workflow here. So we've got this database reactivation text blast template here, and just to give you an overview, this is about how big it is. So it's fairly large, it's not huge though. And this is something you can tailor to whatever niche you're using. And if you want this exact template, just click the link in my description and I'll be able to send that over to you. So the first thing we're doing is just adding a simple tag so that we know what's happening with these contacts. The very first text we're going to do is something pretty simple. We're going to say, hello contact, it's me at our location. Today we're giving out a few vouchers for, and we're going to have this custom values that you can fill in for whatever niche you're doing. So maybe it's $100 off your treatment, or maybe it's a free consultation, whatever it is. Super simple offer, as you can tell. And we're just going to say reply yes if so. So now we have a wait step, and it's just waiting for contact reply. It's not even a timeout. It's just waiting for reply indefinitely. And our first filter is if they replied positively. So we have on the yes branch that they replied and that the intent is positive. And you can see we did something cheeky here where we've got the replied message is yes or Y. Probably not totally necessary, but it's good to be safe there. And if they reply positively, then we're going to send them down this whole thing. So you can see that from the get-go, if we don't get any positive response for them, then we're not going to do anything because we don't want to disturb these people too much, right? Like if they're not being contacted for a long time, we don't want to just blast them with a bunch of texts. We just want to do one, see if they're interested, and then we're going to keep going. So if they reply positively, we're going to create this opportunity where they're going to be a hot lead. Okay, we're going to add a new tag. Going to wait a little bit. We're going to send them another text saying like, okay, all done. I reserved this voucher for you. And then we're going to say, our mornings or afternoons better for you. Similar, we're just going to walk them through this workflow of replied yes or no. If they do reply yes to this again, then they're obviously very high intent. We're going to send a message and say, hey, let me check our schedule. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And that's when we're going to notify our appointment setter or someone in the reception office and say, hey, a lead has opted into the current text blast campaign. Please review their message and schedule accordingly. This is ideal circumstance here, but if they don't respond to that one, remember, they responded once, but let's say they didn't respond after the second text, we're going to wait 7 hours and we're going to follow up with them and say, hey, we've reserved this for you. Are you interested? And then we're going to see if they replied. If they did, then we're going to notify our team. If they didn't, we're going to wait a whole day this time, only during business hours, as you can see. And we're going to send them another text saying, hey, it looks like we haven't scheduled you yet for your free consultation. So we're just trying to follow up again. And if they reply, same thing, we're going to send that notification. If they don't reply though, then we're going to do another wait step. And this time we're going to wait 2 days during business time. And then we're going to send one final text saying, hey, we're looking forward to giving you your free offer that you texted into the first time, but it's been a few days. I'll cancel the offer if you're no longer interested. Hope to hear from you. So you can see there's about 3 follow-ups after the first text. There's 1, 2, 3. So there's a few opportunities for people to opt in, even if they wait a little bit after that first time they text. So as you can tell, it's not too complicated of a workflow. So I want to show you how you would actually launch it. You would come over here to contacts, and I'm going to have all this blurred out so you won't be able to see anything, but you're going to just select all the contacts you want, which again will filter for the ones who haven't selected do not disturb, which let's assume that this is all of them here, and we're going to click add to automation, and it's going to just give us a warning here, and we're going to hit OK to proceed. And then the workflow we're going to choose is this database reactivation that we have here. You can see we've got a couple, and these are usually just the workflows that don't have a trigger already. So we're going to click that database reactivation, and we could do add in drip mode if you have a whole bunch of them. That's usually a good idea. You can choose the day that you're going to start on, all that good stuff. You can use the batch quantity, so how many are they going to do at a time? I'm just going to do 1, and you can see it'll repeat after 1 day, probably is a good idea, and you probably don't want to send these out on Saturday or Sunday. And then you want to choose the hours that it'll actually send those texts. So we could say like 8 a.m. to, maybe later in the day, like 6:30 p.m. That sounds good. Then we could just add them to automation and it would send it out one by one. So there you go. It's pretty easy to do, you guys. So there you have it. Those are my 3 top ways of making money with GoHighLevel as a complete beginner. I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Thanks.